for another evening of In Light of Awareness. And thank everybody for being here. Thank you so much. And gosh, it's just, the time is flying, right? We're at the end of May. This is going to be our last together for May, and we're going to finish up on our series that had to do with meditation. And we're going to wait a little bit while everybody else, has a chance to get on. Be sure and share and like and send me some loving. And it's making a difference when I go back in and read the comments. Oh my gosh, it just does my heart wonders. And it's exciting. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning curve, but I'm really enjoying this time that we spend together. So please pass the awareness out to your friends, to your family, to business associates. Just post it anywhere and everywhere that you can, and let's get this information out. If you stay with me to the end of this program, I'm going to have a gift for you as well. So please stay tuned for that, and I'll tell you all about what's coming up next month, because next month is going to be a real treat. If you think you liked everything about meditation, next month is really going to be a good one. So stay tuned for that. And again, I just so appreciate every one of you for being here. And, I think we're just going to delve right in, because we got quite an array tonight. I actually took some notes so that I could stay on focus, because there's so much that I want to cover tonight. And as mentioned, the whole month of May, our theme was all about meditation. And we talked about the importance of your posture, of your breathing, the open and closed meditations, the difference between the both, and when to use meditation, and what you're looking to get out of a meditation. And tonight, what we're going to do is I'm going to go deeper into the intentions and a few other things around that meditation to kind of bring it all into a format. And then we also have a few questions to a few questions to answer tonight from someone who posted last week, which is great. I love all the questions. So the more questions you ask me, the deeper we can get into some of this stuff and get a clearer understanding, not just have an awareness of what's going on with the subjects that we talk about, but also to be able to dig into any questions that you may have, because the questions are going to make a huge difference as well. So see what's going on at that point, right? So, let's see. Where do we meditate? We talked about that. And because where you do your meditations makes a whole lot of difference in what kind of meditations you're doing. Whether you're doing closed eye or opened eye, even daydreaming or going into deep thought and contemplation and kind of masterminding with yourself gets you in that meditative state and format where you're starting to feel that relaxation and stuff, right? Moving into tonight on setting intention, this is really important. It's like when you set out to do a job or to create a new goal, you have an intention. And meditation should be taken that way as well. What is the intention of the meditation? Why are you doing this? So your intention and your purpose kind of go side and side. They're not the same, but they're very similar. So the purpose is more what you're expecting to have in the outcome once you complete that meditation. And so the importance of your intention can kind of, I guess, more or less reflect as a goal, as setting a goal of what you want accomplished during the meditation, which would be the purpose or the outcome. And by setting that intention, makes a huge difference. So let's look at some of the outcomes. The purpose for having and doing a meditation. Questioning. So if you have a question that you want answered, that you're trying to figure out, should I go this way or should I go that way? What are all my options? And what's going to be the best option for me and anybody else that's involved. But you need to feel fulfilled with this meditation and the outcome of what it is. So if you're seeking a direction on a question that you have about what to or what not to, that's a great purpose to put forth in a meditation. If you've got a decision to make, like maybe changing jobs or changing careers or getting into a committed relationship, maybe speaking to your boss about getting a raise. So there's a lot of things that go on when you start contemplating, a choice, decision making. And meditation can help bring a clarity and give you a little more direction as to which choice is going to be better than the other. What it also does is having that purpose, even if that purpose is just for reducing stress or maybe relaxing aches and pains in your body. Inflammation can be reduced when you're in a meditation. You can actually even get rid of a headache through meditation. Upset stomach, when you become relaxed and you move away from what's upsetting you, can help with that. It can also help with digestion. So there's a lot of things health-wise that you can use meditation for. And it's been proven scientifically and in the medical field that the majority of discomforts that go on in the body are caused from stress. They get their starting point from stress. And why is that? Because when you get stressed, you trigger certain points in the brain that also send out different hormones. They're called stress hormones. And it goes wild in your body because those stress hormones, back in the day when you were in caveman situations, you needed to go out and do hunting. And you always had to be cautious of, whoa, what's over my shoulder here? Is there a lion coming to get me? You know what I'm saying? So we don't need that today. And what happens when we get stressed out, and a lot of times the stressors that go on in your life, it just becomes so much a part of you that you don't even look at them as being stressed. You say, I'm not stressed. Really? Then why do you get agitated when you're in traffic? Especially if you're driving in rush hour traffic, or if there's a detour, traffic is stopped and you're going to be late for an appointment. These are all stressors that we just kind of don't look at as being stressed. We just look at them as being, it's just another day in paradise, right? But it's not. And so you have to understand what the definition of stress is and be aware that you're under stress all the time. When you're under deadlines or commissions that have to be met, from your career, all of these things make a huge difference. For me, just getting up in front of this camera and doing these Facebook Lives, it's like, whoa. The first one was stress out. Oh my gosh, I did a meditation when I was done and really got rid of that. But now it's getting much more comfortable. I still feel, maybe a little undercurrent of stress, but I breathe it out and I don't allow it to move and overcome me and be in charge of me. So it's getting so much more comfortable talking with you guys and just being an expression of awareness of what the subject is. So these are a few things that you can set as your purpose, right? And even like building a relationship. If you're looking to take a relationship with a potential partner, either it's in business or personal, and it's where do you go from here? How do you proceed with this? You're ready for that conversation, right? And bringing that subject up. Because sometimes that can be a little bit scary because, we don't want to be rejected and we don't want to feel like we're being pushy. But, every relationship reaches a certain point when it's time to step back and say, hey, okay, we've been on this plateau for a while. Are we going to just remain here and build a friendship? Or are we going to try to make this plateau go to something different? Someone has to bring that question up. And when you're confident in yourself, and you do a meditation on what that purpose is, and get a little guidance is when's the right time to bring it out, and what's the right words to use, you'll be amazed at what kind of answers and direction you can get just from meditating. So let's go and look at a little more on the outcome in conjunction with the intention or the purpose, right? What you perceive, okay, the desired result to be. So it's not finding out the how, because the how is what's going to just intuitively come to you, and you'll be shown. And doors will open. So be aware of everything that's going on around you. Because you might be in a, let's just say with a relationship, you might be in a conversation where there's a few other close friends that are part of you as a couple, and they say, so, okay, when are you guys going to get serious? Wow. That opens the door for you. That's kind of what comes through the meditation, because your intention was to understand where this relationship is going to the next level. The purpose is to be able to speak comfortably to that potential partner without feeling forceful or pushy, and not coming at it from a direction where you're not going to feel rejected. So all that takes place. And then, wow, the how was right there in front of you. Someone else made the comment so you could step in. And that's kind of how it works. And you can start to feel comfortable, more comfortable, in every interaction that you have when you use meditation for whatever reason. Getting a job, you could put that same format. Getting a new car, buying a house, maybe changing jobs. So all of these things come into play when you set an intention and a purpose, so that you know going into the meditation what you're expecting to get out of that meditation. And the middle pieces of guidance and direction will all show up. So just open up and be aware, there's a word again, of the messages coming to you. And follow suit. Don't blow them off, because it's a necessity, right? Let's see, what else do we have here? When you begin doing more meditations, and you build up to, say, 1 meditation a day, it's going to help also build a trust in you. And you begin to trust your intuition more when you start listening to what's coming through when you're doing a meditation, right? And meditation can also be used for sleeping. It can be used for detoxing. It can use for, like we'd mentioned, stress release, reducing inflammation, and also it can be used as a pick-me-up, a lift up in the middle of the day. How many times after you had a big lunch and you go back to work, it's like, oh, I'm just dragging, right? It's like, I need a nap. Well, you know, back in the day, this is what happened. I can remember, I grew up on a farm, and I remember my dad, after every lunch, what he did, before he went back out in the fields, he finished eating, he went and laid down on the couch, and went to sleep. 30 minutes later, he was awake and out to the field. You know, and we can learn a lot from that. We don't usually have that much time, you know, when you're working a 9 to 5, and you never sometimes even get a lunch break at the same time. But what you can do in that lunch break time is enjoy your meal, and then take a 15-minute breather and go into a small meditation to where you can increase that digestive processing and also start utilizing the energies around to give you that little boost of energy to move you through the rest of the afternoon and on into the evening. And have you ever noticed that, you know, you might drag but throughout the day, but You get home at night, work is done, all of a sudden, whoa, it's time to go out. It's party time. It's time to go out and have fun. All of a sudden, you just get this burst of energy. That's the kind of burst of energy you can get midday through a meditation. And that's for real, right? So, at the end of this broadcast, I am going to share with you, well, let me share with you right now, okay? I am going to give you a meditation that's going to give you that 15-minute boost, that energy charge in the middle of the day. So we'll talk about that again at the finish. And last week we had a couple questions, and I want to thank Amy for giving these questions. So she's going to get her answer tonight. And I think you'll find that the question that she asked, or maybe something you didn't think about, or just maybe weren't quite ready to ask it. But she says, question number 1, how often should one meditate? I think we kind of covered that a little bit in what we covered tonight. But I took special care and really gave it some deep thought about, that is a great question. How often should you meditate? And again, when you look at what your intentions are and what the outcomes are, and what you're looking to get out of meditation, what are you looking for meditation to do for you, will help you decide how often meditation is going to work in your life for your schedule, right? So know why you want to incorporate meditation into your daily activity. And I did say daily, because the more you use it, and you're going to feel more comfortable with it. It's like anything. It's just like, okay, this is number 6 in this Facebook Live. I'm so much more comfortable than I was in the first one, right? Because it's repetition. It's just like learning your ABCs. You might not know them first out, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, right? So when you look at that and try to incorporate, say, one meditation every day, and getting it into a habit, it's like you go to the gym, at a set time. You have lunch at a set time. You have breakfast at a set time. You get up at a set time. You go to bed at a set time. There's a regiment. When you can put yourself on a regiment for a meditation, you're going to gain so much more. And it doesn't have to be an hour-long meditation. It doesn't have to be set all the ambiance. When you understand and know the intention and the purpose, you can make it a 5-minute meditation, a 15-minute meditation, whatever is going to work best for you. Right? So that's kind of what we want to do. And start working on some of the things that are more comfortable, like maybe something that stresses you out, like, oh, gee, I just really don't like driving in traffic. Make traffic your friend instead of your enemy. So, let's see, what else do I have on here? So, it's a personal preference as to how often you want to meditate. There's no right or wrong way to this. It's what you're going to feel comfortable with. Personally, I meditate several hours throughout the day, and because I've meditated for so long, I know what that space feels like, to be in that raised, quiet space of meditation, that I kind of walk through my day in that state, in that frame of mind, so that things throughout the world, the see, touch, taste, smell world, doesn't impact me in a direct, hard hit, because I elevate past that and I don't become a part of it. And that's something we can save for another time, because that's a whole new ball game, right? So, again, it's that personal preference. So, Amy, in answer to your question, start at least one meditation a day for 15 minutes. And then build into and build off of that and take it where you want, right? Also, she asked the question is, how do I get back to center when my mind wanders? Now that's really interesting, right? And that is a super, super good question. Because again, how many times do you see yourself when you try to meditate, you fall asleep, or all of a sudden you're off in another world, and your intention got lost? Or you didn't have a focus or intention or a purpose. You just said, oh, well, I'm just going to quiet my mind. Have an intention so that when you do start to see yourself drifting, recognize what that interference is. Because that interference may not necessarily be interference. When you have an intention and a purpose, that interference may be something that's triggering an answer or a direction or a cautionary moment. So look at what that distraction is, and does it relate or pertain to your outcome or to your intention? If it does, then dwell a little more on it and get a deeper understanding of what that is. If it doesn't, and it is just that, a dysfunctional interruption, then say, okay, back to my intention. This is my intention. This is my outcome. I need to focus on that. Okay, take me where this needs to be, and then continue with that meditation. So I hope that helps you make a little sense out of that. But it's that recognition, and recognition throughout a meditation helps you stay kind of consciously, unconsciously involved in it so that you don't fall asleep, right? I think that kind of ends that part. So meditations also help you to take an obstacle and turn it into an asset. So kind of use obstacle and asset as part of your intention and purpose for going into it, right? So thank you again, Amy, for bringing these questions to our attention. And please make some comments down there in the comment box and send me a little love and share this video. So that brings us to a close for May. And now what I have is for you a little sneak preview into what's going to happen next month. So our theme for the month of, did I say May? This is April. Oh my gosh, I'm ahead of myself. So that ends April. Let's put it that way, right? Oh my goodness. So May's theme is going to be coexisting with duality. Coexisting with duality. Kind of an interesting subject, right? So week 1 is going to be all about actions and choices. And what that kind of pertains to is why we feel the need to explain our choices. Feeling the need to give a reason or an excuse because we said no. And then later on feeling guilty because we said no. And then having to justify that. So that'll be the first week. Second week is going to be duality. Which side are you on? You've got to be either on this side of the fence or that side of the fence. You can't be on both sides at the same time. You think you can straddle that fence? That centerpiece only gets you in trouble, right? But you can't be both at the same time. Let's say, for instance, you can't hold a grudge and give forgiveness at the same time. That doesn't work. You can't feel helpless and feel empowered at the same time, right? And you can't feel excluded from an event at the same time you feel included. So does that kind of make a little more sense? We'll go deeper into that in week 2. Week 3, we're going to talk about discernment, and deception. And there's a fine line when it comes to that. So it's developing your skill for caution. And that's also going to work with the trust and your intuition. Discernment can feed deception, yet deception can turn around and fool discernment. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about in week 3. Week 4 is a reflection of the self that you see in others. Because we are all one with one another. And so what we see that isn't comfortable with in someone else, we need to just step back for a moment and take a look at, wow, is that in me? Maybe a small piece of it? Or maybe it used to be, but there's still a little piece that's kind of influencing you. So we're going to really get in depth with what that reflection of the self in others is all about. And then in week 5, we're going to talk about the duality of God, which is the good in you. And then we're going to talk about the opposite, of course, which is the evil, the devil in you. So we're both a little bit of piece of that, because we are a being of the divine, and our perception and our free will give us the option to experience the duality of everything that's out there, because planet Earth is a world of duality. So please stay with me for next month, because it's going to get wild. So coexisting with duality. And again, thank you for tonight's show. And tomorrow morning, bright and early, come back in here and check this video. And you'll have to move it to the end or play it or whatever. You're going to see in the comment box, and when I post it and I repost this video, you're also going to see the link that's going to give you where you're going to find your free 15-minute pick-me-up video that I told you I was going to give you tonight. Okay? And thank you again so much for listening to me, and have a great night.